So back on these beauties, and we got the baffles done as you saw in the last one, and I've stripped the cabinets now and fitted a load of 12mm felt, so that's all good. So I think what I'm going to do is put the original lining back in, because it's, yeah, now the foam's on here. I'm quite pleased with the panel deadening. So I think I'm going to put the original like polyfill back in, but glue it as well. And yeah, then it's time to sand the backs, paint them black, and then I will sand the top, bottom and sides and front. As I've mentioned before, the reason I paint the back first is because the paint will overlap, and in order to get a really good clean edge, it's just better to sand it afterwards. With the hoover or the vacuum on the sander, you don't get anything on the new black paint. Right, so that's the original wadding, spray glued and stapled in, and we are now significantly better than we were before. So yeah, I think that will probably do it. I'll see. I may need to put a bit of polyfill in there as well, just to kill any standing waves. But yeah, pretty happy with that. So I'm going to run some gasket material around this. I'll probably use a load of leftover white Velcro, the soft loop part. For some reason I got a load of it. I must have ordered it by mistake. That'll make a good gasket. So gaskets are now on. Put a few staples in it as well, just to pin it in. Sticks like nobody's business though. Really good. Yeah, sanding time. Right, so these have both had a sand. I didn't film it because you've seen me sand many a speaker. And they've come up really nicely. Couple of little bits here, but I'm not worried about that. With a bit of oil, that'll sort of disguise itself a bit. Backs are all painted now. But yeah, pretty much all the marks have come out. Really pleased. Like a lot of these older speakers, they have a real wood bezel, so you can go at this quite sort of hard. Sometimes there's like a butt joint between the bezel and the veneer. 9 times out of 10 it's just run and overlapped. This was a bit moisture damaged on the top, but it's come out. We've got a little bit of a crack there, but I think that'll probably fill up okay with some oil. But yeah, all the marks have basically come out. Got a little bit of a blemish down the bottom there, but I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, pretty pleased really. So I'm going to get some oil on them. Right, okay, so 1 coat of Danish oil, and they're coming up nicely. That grain is lovely. So I'll probably give them another coat of Danish oil, and then I might top them off with some hard wax to put a nice sheen on them, because the veneer has come up really, really well. So yeah, mega pleased, mega pleased. I think with our black baffles and big woofers, they're going to look pretty cool. So I've obviously got the covers to recloth, and then it's going to be crossover work. Yeah, looking forward to that part, because I don't know how that woofer is going to behave. I'll try and do quite an in-depth crossover design video, but yeah, these are coming out really nicely. Right, so beginning to get set up to do a load of measurements on the speakers, just crudely. I just want to get something in the ballpark before I go throwing up all my sheets and everything and really going crazy, just to see where we're at. So I've got the old world famous crossover board ready, tweeter connected, woofer connected, positive and negative rails, my leads, my box which has got loads of values in there, and then I keep a load of components in that lot. So yeah, let's see what we can do. Right, so a few hours crossover work on these this morning, and yeah, I'm largely really pleased. Didn't take a huge amount to marry that up to that. I mean, as I've mentioned before, these tweeters are always really good. I'll put up the raw driver measurements now and you'll see just how nicely this tweeter works in this configuration. What you also would have seen from that is the raw woofer measurement. In fact, I'll put the raw woofer measurement up on its own now. So that's the woofer in this box with no crossover on it. And you'll see there's a dip at about 1 kilohertz, and then kind of naturally rolls off, and then we get this big peak kind of up high, 5 or 6k, and that is, I'm pretty sure that's the cone being re-energized. It's got a kind of hollow sound to it when you tap on the cone, and I've largely dialed that out with a crossover, but the 1k dip, I can't fill it in. I could create a really narrow kind of notch filter, but to shunt some power at that frequency, but I'm fighting just this woofer in this cabinet, and it's not really something I can correct. I've done an on-axis measurement and it's pretty good actually. Here it is. So apart from that 1k dip, which where it is I'm not particularly worried about, and actually I've set the speakers up on the table like this with the tweeters outside, because as you move this way, that dip starts to lift up. I haven't done any kind of really accurate measurements yet. I want to listen to them first, and then I'll, in the next part, really go to town with measurements, and I'm sure I'm probably going to have to revisit the crossovers. But like I say, as you move this direction, or from this tweet to this direction, that dip sort of lifts out. So I'm pretty sure as long as I'm listening to these with the tweeters outboard, and probably these to a degree firing forward rather than towed in against me in the listening position, that's not going to be a problem. So yeah, I'm going to leave it here, and oh, I did an impedance sweep. Minimum at the moment is 5 ohms, maximum is 20, and it's pretty linear as well. So yeah, nothing nasty standing out in that at all. So I'm quite pleased. So yeah, I'm going to put some crossovers together, and then have a listen to these possibly tonight, and then in the next part do any fine tuning, go back to the measurements, and then we've got the covers to do. These have had one coat of oil, so they'll get another. These inner pieces of chipboard that are exposed need painting out as well. So yeah, almost there. Right, I've put some crossovers together, and I'm going to have a good listen, and let's see how these work out.